the product and quotient rules. We'll start with the product. So if we have a product of functions, the derivative with respect to x of that product is the first factor times the derivative of the second factor plus product plus the second factor times the derivative of the first factor. Now you will note that the derivative of a product is not the product of the derivatives. Okay, so again, when we have a product of functions, the derivative of that product is the first factor times the derivative of the second factor plus the second factor times the derivative of the first factor. Also, another way to think of this is if we're looking at f times g, the derivative of f times g, you could write it as f prime g plus fg prime. There's a reason coming up that makes it nice to learn it in that order as opposed to fg prime plus f prime g, but either order is fine because it does not matter when you multiply what the order is that you're multiplying. My preference is going to be this one here because of what's coming up. Now, a couple of examples. Find the derivatives. Notice that I have f of x is gx squared plus 2 times 5x cubed minus 6x. Now, I've got to rename these. I can't call these function f and g like I did up there because the name of my entire function is f. So why don't we call this g and h? So if I'm looking at the product of g times h, we always want to write this out first, gh prime plus hg prime. And now we can say g, which is 3x squared plus 2, times, I'm going to take the derivative of h, that's what this notation means, plus h times, I'm going to take the derivative of g. Now we can see that h prime would be 15x squared minus 6, and g prime would be 6x. Now, from here, you have aloha, a lot of horrible algebra. So we would want to distribute this pair of factors. So I would get 45 x to the fourth, and then I would get minus 18 plus 30, which is 12x squared, and minus 12. Over here, I'm going to distribute the 6x across this, which gives me 30x to the fourth minus 36x squared, and then we want to add similar terms. Now, if I were going to be perfectly honest with you, this is not the easiest way to do this problem. There is an easy way. The easy way is simply to, first of all, FOIL function f, and then take the derivative term by term of each one of these terms. Now, which would I do? Of course, I would do it the easy way. But I wanted to illustrate how to use the product rule. All right, let us look at another product. Y equals x cubed times the sine of x. Well, I can let this be function f and this be function g. And so I know that it is x cubed times the derivative of sine plus product rule plus sine times the derivative of x cubed. All right, well, the derivative of sine, we need to know what that is, and we know that from a previous section is cosine. So x cubed times the cosine of x plus sine times the derivative of x cubed. And really, that is all you can do. We do want to write y prime equals that. If you went with my preferred method of f prime g plus fg prime, again, I can still list it. It is the same thing. It does not matter what our order is. All right, our final product rule example is y equals 3x times the sine of x minus 4 cosine x. Now, this is easy because this is just a constant multiple. This is the product of 3x times sine of x. So this one's a little easier. This one requires some work. So just by using my notation that's going to indicate what I'm going to do. Dealing with the product piece, 3x times I've got to find the derivative of sine plus sine of x times the derivative of 3x. That is just the product rule part of this problem. Minus 4 times, and I've got to find the derivative of cosine of x. So we have 3x times cosine of x, that's the derivative of sine, plus sine of x times 3. I want to be very careful about this because this does not become 3x. It's 3 sine x. Minus 4 times, and the derivative of cosine is a negative sign. Now, this is where I want to give you a kill me now. Parentheses matter. Negative 4 minus sine x is very different from negative 4 times negative sine of x. So be careful with that. So just cleaning this up, I have 3x times the cosine of x, plus bring that 3 down in front, 3 times sine of x, and this minus minus becomes a plus. Notice that I do have some terms that can be added together, and so our final answer is y prime is 3x cosine x plus 7 sine of x. Your TPs are for the product rule, problems 1, 5, and 13. See you next time.